Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. For question 1, deconstructing the regulatory and governmental engine. To answer this question, first of all, we need to list down the role of Bank Negara Malaysia and the Security Commission. Okay, what is the purpose of BNM? First, acts as the central bank and regulator of Islamic financial institutions, including Islamic banks and the Islamic money market. Then, focus on financial stability and liquidity management in the Islamic banking system. Then, issue sovereign sukuk instruments such as Malaysian government investment issue, which are widely used by Islamic bank for liquidity purposes. Next, establishes Sharia standards through the Sharia Advisory Council (SAC) of BNM, ensuring consistent Sharia compliance across the Islamic banking operations. And lastly, supports the development of a deep and liquid Islamic money market, which is essential for the smooth functioning of sukuk market. Move on to role of Security Commission Malaysia (SC). First, regulates and develop the Islamic capital market, including corporate and government sukuk insurance. Next, introduce and enforce guidelines on sukuk, providing clear rules on permissible sukuk structures. Then, oversees sukuk approvals and disclosure to ensure market transparency and investor protection. Then, drive financial innovation, including the development of sustainable and responsible investment (SRI), sukuk and ESG linked on sukuk. Lastly, support by the Sharia Advisory Council (SAC) of Security Commission, which provides alternative Sharia rulings for capital markets instruments. Next, to answer this question, we need to make a comparison between BNM and Security Commission. Okay, first, under the aspect of main focus, the main focus of BNM is Islamic banking and money market, while for Securities Commission is Islamic capital market. Okay, for key objective, the key objective of BNM is financial stability and liquidity, while for Securities Commission is market development and innovation. Under the aspect of instruments, for Bank Negara Malaysia, Malaysia government investment issues, money market sukuk, while for Security Commission, corporate sukuk and SRI sukuk. Under Sharia oversight, for BNM is SAC for banking sector, while for Securities Commission, SAC for capital market. And lastly, for the market role, for BNM, the market role is system stability, while for Securities Commission is market expansion. Okay, to answer, government as the most important catalyst for sukuk growth. Why is that? First, the Malaysian government is the largest and most consistent sukuk issuer, especially through sovereign sukuk. Sovereign sukuk create a risk-free benchmark yield curve, which is essential for pricing corporate sukuk. Government issuance increase investor confidence, especially among international investors unfamiliar with sukuk. Next, landmark issuance such as the 2001 and 2002 global sovereign sukuk position Malaysia as a global sukuk leader. Lastly, the government pioneered innovative sukuk structures, including sukuk wakalah and the world's first green sukuk. Okay, last for the question 1, why government role is more important than private sector initiative? First, private sector issuers are generally risk-averse and rely on an established market framework. Without government issue sukuk, no benchmark pricing, higher uncertainty and cost for corporate issuer, lower investor participation, and next, government involvement ensure that tax neutrality policies, strong regulatory support, long-term market commitment. And lastly, once the foundation was built by the government, the private sector was able to grow sustainably.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Haikal Irfan. I will explain how sukuk in Malaysia evolved from simple to innovative structures, highlighting financial innovation and Malaysia's global role. For the phase 1, which is Ijara Sukuks, means or foundation stage, Malaysian sukuk begin with ijara sukuk, lease-based and asset-backed instruments. Returns came from rental income, avoiding interest and complying with Sharia. This ethical asset-backed structure built investor confidence and laid the foundation for Malaysia's sukuk market. Next, for the phase 2, Muzakara and Mudarabah, which is risk sharing stage. The introduction of Muzakara and Mudarabah sukuk shifted the market to profit and the risk sharing, reflecting Muqasid al-Sharia through partnership and share responsibility. This structure enabled broader corporate and project financing, signaling Malaysia's move toward a more mature sukuk market. Next, for the phase 3, hybrid and wakala sukuk, which is innovation stage. As Malaysia's market matured, hybrid and wakala sukuk combine multiple Sharia contracts, offering issuer greater flexibility for larger, complex investment and reinforcing Malaysia's global leadership in Islamic capital market. Next, for the phase 4, which is ESG and SRI sukuk, which is a sustainable stage. ESG and SRI sukuk finance renewable energy and social project, reflecting Muqasid al-Sharia through social and environmental responsibility. They attract both Islamic and conventional ESG investors, showcasing Malaysian role as a global sukuk pioneer. Okay, let's continue with the chart above. This chart show Malaysia's sukuk evolution from basic ijara to advanced ESG and SRI structures, moving from fixed asset-based return to risk-sharing, partnership driving, financing that support economic and social development.
Our selected case study, the Green SRI Sukuk, which is issued in Malaysia in 2017. It is recognized as the world's first Green SRI Sukuk and was developed under Malaysia's SRI Sukuk framework, which was introduced to promote responsible and sustainable financing. The sukuk was issued to finance a large-scale solar energy project, demonstrating how Islamic capital market instruments can be used to support environmentally sustainable development. What makes this sukuk particularly innovative is its ability to integrate Sharia-compliant financing principles with ESG consideration. This allowed the sukuk to appeal not only to Islamic investors but also to conventional ESG-focused investors, expanding the investor base. The issuance reflects Malaysia's leadership and market maturity as it shows the country's ability to design sukuk instruments that meet both global sustainability standards and Sharia. I would like to explain the structure of the Green SRI Sukuk, which use a hybrid wakalah and ijara arrangement. First, investors subscribe to the sukuk and their funds are pooled under a wakalah investment structure, where the issuer acts as an agent, managing the investment on behalf of the investors. The funds are then used to develop and operate the solar power project. Once the project becomes operational, income is generated from the sale of electricity. These cash flows are distributed to sukuk holders as profit rather than interest, which ensure compliance with Sharia principles. At maturity, the sukuk is redeemed at its nominal value. Overall, this structure ensures that investors' returns are directly linked to real economic activity, reinforcing the asset-based and risk-sharing nature of Islamic finance. This slide highlights how the Green SRI Sukuk complies with Sharia principles while also supporting ethical and sustainable objectives. From a Sharia perspective, the sukuk avoids riba, excessive uncertainty, and speculative elements as returns are derived from a tangible asset and its performance. The structure is asset-backed and promotes risk-sharing between investors and the issuer. In addition, the sukuk supports sustainability goals by financing renewable energy, which contributes to environmental protection and long-term social benefit. This aligns closely with Maqasid al-Shari'ah, particularly the objectives of promoting public welfare, protecting the environment, and ensuring ethical financial practice. Therefore, this sukuk demonstrates how Islamic finance can achieve a balance between financial return, ethical responsibility, and sustainable development. Overall, the Green SRI Sukuk illustrates how financial innovation in Malaysia has transformed sukuk into a global, relevant, ethical, and sustainability-driven investment instrument.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Nazmi bin Saarani, and moving on to question 3. Let us begin by looking at our current standing. Malaysia stands proud as a global leader commanding 52% of the global sukuk market. This is a remarkable achievement driven by our highly mature financial ecosystem. However, the critical question remains, is this the position guaranteed for the next 10 years? According to Fitch Ratings 2024, we are facing increasingly aggressive competition from GCC nations such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE, as well as our neighbor Indonesia. These nations are rapidly developing their own Islamic financial infrastructures. Beyond geographic competition, we also face internal industry challenges, specifically illiquidity management issues within Islamic financial institutions and the ongoing volatility of the global economic cycle. Therefore, the roadmap I am proposing today is not just about maintaining that 52% market share. It is about ensuring Malaysia remains the global trendsetter, preventing our market from reaching stagnation or being left behind in the rapid evolution of global finance. To address these challenges, our strategy over the next 10 years will be anchored by two primary pillars, ESG and fintech. First, we must solidify our position in sustainable finance, ESG. According to reports by EY Malaysia 2022, Malaysia is the leading issuer of sustainable sukuk in Asia, with values reaching 3.9 billion USD. This is our primary weapon. By expanding our Sustainable and Responsible Investment Framework (SRI), we will attract not only Muslim investors but also global conventional investors who now prioritize sustainability. This is perfectly aligned with the principle of Maqasid al-Shari'ah, which emphasizes the protection of the wealth and the overall well-being of the Ummah. The second pillar is the empowerment of fintech and blockchain. We must transition toward digital sukuk issuance. Why? Because blockchain technology and smart contracts can significantly reduce transaction costs and accelerate the Sharia approval process. This will open doors for retail investors, the general public, to invest in sukuk, moving beyond the current limitation to large institutions. The fusion of ESG and fintech will create an ecosystem that is more transparent, efficient, and ethical, which is the ultimate key to outperforming our global...
Now let's moving on to the third question. Let us examine our 10-year strategic roadmap, which is divided into 3 actionable phases. The first phase will be 2026 until 2028. Focused on global Sharia harmonization, Malaysia must lead the efforts to standardize international Sharia frameworks. This is crucial to reduce investor confusion and enhance the global acceptability of our sukuk product, particularly within the GCC markets. And then the second phase will be 2029 until 2032 is the digital transformation stage. We aim to launch a fully digital sukuk platform integrated with major banking system. This will resolve liquidity issues by creating more active and digitally accessible secondary market. And then the third phase will be 2033 until 2036 is about solidifying Malaysia as a global impact hub. At this stage, Malaysia will be recognized not just for its issuance volume but as the center of excellence for global infrastructure and green project. So in conclusion, this strategic plan is designed with highest standard of integrity and professional accountability. Our goal is not to be the largest player but the most sustainable and ethical. By executing of this roadmap, I am confident that Malaysia will remain the compass guiding the global Islamic finance industry for decades to come. Thank you.